You hug them. You kiss their forehead. You baby talk them in that ridiculous voice because, honestly, you can't help it. You love your dog completely, and your dog loves you back. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Some of the things you do every single day, your dog hates them. Not in a, they're being dramatic way. In a, this is genuinely stressing me out, and I don't know how to tell you way. The tight hugs, the eye contact, the chaotic walks, the surprises you think are fun. These aren't signs of a difficult dog. They're signs that our instincts as humans and our dog's instincts just don't always line up, and most owners have no idea. So before you reach over and pat your pup on the head, stay with me, because some of what you're about to hear might completely change how you see your relationship with your dog. To understand why your habits might be bothering your dog, you first have to understand how differently they experience the world. Humans are verbal creatures. We talk, we explain, we reason. Dogs? They don't have that. Instead, they read everything. The tension in your shoulders, the way you're standing, the micro expressions on your face. Body language isn't just one way dogs communicate. It's the primary way. Then there's scent. Dogs have up to 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our 6 million. They don't just smell the world. They read it like a newspaper we can't even see. And routine? To a dog, predictability isn't boring. It's safety. It tells them, I know what's coming. I'm okay. So when humans do things that feel totally normal to us, sudden movements, direct staring, unpredictable schedules, dogs aren't being sensitive. They're responding exactly the way their biology designed them to. Understanding that changes everything. Let's start with the one that's going to sting a little. Hugging. That instinct to wrap your arms around your dog and just squeeze. It comes from a place of pure love. For humans, a hug means safety, warmth, closeness. We hug the things we care about most. But your dog doesn't see it that way. In the canine world, placing a limb over another animal is a dominant signal. It communicates control, not affection. So when you throw your arms around your dog, what feels like love to you can feel like restraint to them. Watch closely next time. A dog who's uncomfortable being hugged will turn their head away, flatten their ears, yawn, lick their lips, or go completely stiff. These are calming signals. Your dog's way of saying, please stop, without actually being able to say it. Some dogs do grow to tolerate hugs. A few genuinely enjoy them. But tolerate and enjoy are very different things. Your dog deserves to know the difference too. You've probably done this. You get down on the floor, face to face with your dog, and just stare into their eyes. Maybe you're looking for that deep connection. Maybe you're just obsessed with how cute they are. Fair enough. But in dog language, a direct, unbroken stare is not a love letter. It's a threat. Among dogs, prolonged eye contact is a confrontational signal. It's what dogs do when they're asserting dominance or issuing a challenge. It's the thing that happens right before a fight breaks out at the dog park. So when you lock eyes with your dog and hold it, especially if you're leaning forward, making yourself bigger, your dog's nervous system doesn't register, my human loves me. It registers, I'm being challenged. Now, bonding eye contact absolutely exists between dogs and their owners. But there's a difference between a soft, natural glance and an intense, unblinking stare. One feels like connection. The other feels like confrontation. Let your dog look away first. That small shift shows him you're not a threat. You're home. Here's one that almost every dog owner is guilty of. Your dog is curled up, twitching through a dream, looking so unbearably adorable that you just have to touch them. So you do. You pet them, you squeeze them, you call their name until their eyes flutter open, and honestly, you feel a little bad about it, but not bad enough to stop. Here's why you probably should. Dogs sleep between 12 and 14 hours a day. Larger breeds and older dogs can sleep even more. That rest isn't laziness. It's biology. Sleep is when dogs process the day, consolidate memory, regulate stress hormones, and physically recover. And unlike humans, dogs cycle through sleep stages much faster. When you interrupt them mid-cycle, repeatedly throughout the day, you're not just cutting their nap short. You're disrupting the restorative process their brain and body actually depend on. Chronically underrested dogs show real symptoms. irritability, difficulty concentrating during training, heightened anxiety, and increased reactivity to things that wouldn't normally bother them. Let them sleep. The cuddles will be better when they come to you. On Monday, your dog jumps on the couch and you let it slide. On Tuesday, you've got company over and suddenly it's a problem. On Wednesday, you're tired, so the begging at the dinner table gets rewarded with a scrap. On Thursday, you're strict again. From your perspective, you're just going with the flow. From your dog's perspective, the world makes no sense. Dogs don't understand context the way humans do. They can't reason that jumping on the couch is fine on lazy Sundays, but not when grandma visits. What they can do is learn patterns. Clear, consistent, repeatable patterns that tell them exactly what earns praise and what doesn't. When those patterns keep shifting, dogs don't just get confused. They get anxious. They spend energy constantly scanning for cues. Try and predict what version of the rules applies today. That mental load is genuinely exhausting and stressful for them. And here's the part most owners miss. Inconsistency doesn't just slow down training. It actively erodes your dog's sense of security. Structure isn't restrictive. For a dog, it's the closest thing to a promise. I know what's expected. I know what's coming. I'm safe. Be honest. How many times have you tugged the leash and said, "Come on, let's go," while your dog had their nose buried in a patch of grass? Probably today. Here's what you need to understand. To you, a walk is exercise, a loop around the block, maybe 20 minutes, done. To your dog, a walk is the newspaper, the social network, and the nature documentary all rolled into one. Every lamppost, every patch of dirt, every spot where another dog paused for 30 seconds last Tuesday. That's information. Rich, complex, fascinating information that your dog is actively processing through scent. Sniffing isn't your dog wasting time. It's your dog using their brain. Studies show that a sniff-led walk tires a dog out more than a brisk physical one, because mental stimulation and physical exercise aren't the same thing. A shorter walk where your dog actually gets to sniff, more satisfying than a long one spent being pulled along. Slow down. The grass will still be there. We need to talk about how much we talk to our dogs. Full conversations, long explanations, elaborate negotiations. Okay, listen, I know you want to go outside, but we just got back and it's raining, and I really need you to just settle down right now. Your dog heard, blah, 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 outside, blah, blah, blah. That's not an insult. It's just biology. Dogs don't process language the way humans do. What they're actually listening for is tone, rhythm, emotional energy. And what they're watching is your body, your posture, your gestures, your eye contact, your movement. A long, frustrated sentence delivered with tense body language tells your dog you're agitated. It doesn't tell them what you want. A calm, clear, consistent one-word cue paired with confident body language that they understand instantly. The owners with the most responsive dogs aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who communicate the most clearly. Less words, more intention. Your dog will actually hear you. You come home to a chewed cushion, a ransacked bin, scratches on the doorframe, and your first instinct is, bad dog. But here's the real question. What did they have to do all day? Dogs are intelligent, social, working animals. For thousands of years they had jobs, herding, hunting, guarding, tracking. That drive didn't disappear when they moved onto your sofa. It just lost its outlet. A dog left alone with nothing to do doesn't simply nap and wait patiently for your return. They get frustrated, then anxious, then desperate for any kind of stimulation. And whatever they find, however destructive, becomes the most interesting thing in an otherwise empty day. Boredom in dogs isn't a personality flaw. It's a need going unmet, and it doesn't take much to fix. A puzzle feeder, a frozen calm, a training session that lasts 5 minutes, hidden treats around the house. These aren't luxuries. They're mental exercise, and dogs need it as consistently as they need physical activity. A stimulated dog isn't just better behaved. They're genuinely happier, calmer, and easier to live with. The chaos isn't defiance. It's a dog telling you, in the only language they have left, I needed more today. So how do you actually know if your dog is uncomfortable? Because they're not going to tell you. Not in words, Anyway, but they are telling you, constantly. You just have to know what to look for. The signals are subtle, which is exactly why most owners miss them entirely. Lip licking when there's no food around. A sudden yawn in the middle of an interaction. Turning their head away when you lean in close. A nose that won't stop twitching. Ears pinned flat. A tail held low, even if it's still moving. Suddenly needing to scratch or sniff the ground in the middle of a tense moment. These are called calming signals, a term coined by Norwegian dog trainer Ture Rugas. They're your dog's way of saying, I'm uncomfortable, or please give me space, without escalating to a growl or a snap. And here's what makes this so important. A dog that gets ignored at the calming signal stage doesn't just stay uncomfortable. They learn that subtle communication doesn't work, and they escalate to something you can't ignore. Most dogs don't bite without warning. They warn repeatedly, quietly, in a language their owners never learned to read. Start reading it now. It changes everything. So there you have it. 7 things you might be doing every single day that your dog wishes you'd reconsider. Hugging too tight, staring too long, interrupting their sleep, shifting the rules, rushing through walks, talking when your body should be doing the communicating, and leaving them with nothing but 4 walls and their own frustration. None of these come from neglect. Every single one of them comes from love, from wanting to be close, to connect, to care. You're not a bad owner for doing them. You just didn't have this information yet. Now you do. And that's genuinely all it takes. A little awareness, a few small shifts, and a willingness to meet your dog where they actually are rather than where we imagine them to be. Because they're not little humans in fur coats. They're something better. And they deserve to be understood on their own terms. So tell us, which one of these do you think your dog hates the most? Drop it in the comments below. And if this video made you see your dog even slightly differently, share it with someone whose dog might be trying to tell them something too.